do. There's the bridge clubs, and there's, you know, um, after we get through this COVID and the restrictions get lifted and we get back to normal here, the activity schedule is full. And to me, one of the most beautiful things is that you can be as involved as you want to be or not, but it's just right here in front of you. And there's just something for everybody. And then the other thing is when the health issues do present themselves with the couples, and like Susan, with your parents and this and that, to me, I think it's a beautiful thing to be in a community where if one spouse has to be in the health center and requires the nursing home care, and you have another spouse that's still independent, how wonderful is it that you can walk over and see them whenever you want? And then you're still in the same community. The health center is attached to the Heritage. You're not driving across town. You're not separated miles away. It is priceless that you can walk over there, see that they're engaged, see that they're happy, they're taken care of, and leave and go on with your life and visit whenever you want. That is valuable. It means so much to our married couples here, that we have several that have, some of the residents live in independent living, and their spouse now needs the health center. So that's just something to think about.
Thank you, Kathy. I think we had another question that was just asked about tours. How do we handle tours right now? So right now, with the COVID restrictions, we are not allowing outside visitors to come into the community. So we have to put our thinking cap on, so to speak, be a little creative and do virtual tours. So we're doing things like FaceTime tours. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, we do walk-arounds and walk through tours with that type of technology. Some people maybe not as technology savvy, so we do just on the phone. We'll go through an appointment over the phone, go through all of the information. I know that is not really the best for someone who wants to put their 2 feet on the ground here and see, but that's really a nice way for you to kind of see some things using technology. We can use Skype or Zoom technology, things like that. So we're trying to do the best that we can to protect our residents, but also give you the ability to see a little bit of the community. And then in a minute, Judy's going to share with you another opportunity that we have as far as a waiting list that we've started for folks who really just want to pause until you can actually come into the community. So that's another opportunity as far as a wait list, when we can allow outside visitors to come in, and then you can see the place for yourself. So that's another opportunity. We've also, starting tomorrow, it looks like, we're going to be able to go into our Winfield, which is used to be Winfield Day Center. It's just before you get into the community, before the gates. And we're going to be able to face-to-face visit with folks there. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to go into the community and see apartments and villas and things of that nature, but we can sit across the table from you, socially distance, answer your questions, go over the residency agreement, look at floor plans, go over videos with you. So it will give you an opportunity to come in on a face-to-face basis. If you're like me, sometimes you like to just look somebody in the eye. So you can do that starting tomorrow, just make an appointment with us. Judy, you may want to add a little bit to that if you want to share some things along those lines as well.
Yes, so we're very excited about having the opportunity to meet face-to-face for the first time since March. Again, it's sort of a segue to get us back to getting folks into the community. At least you're able to get close to the community. We have a priority program that we recently started, and for the timeline, we really don't know the timeline of when we will be able to have tours within the community to look at apartments and villas. But we set up a priority program where you can get a number in line to actually come into the community. What we've learned is that there is some pent-up demand, and people would like to have the ability to have the most options available to them to choose. And what the priority wait list does is it gets you a number in line. for when we do open up the community for people to come in and look at the inventory. We have 7 people who have already placed deposits. It is a $1,000 fully refundable deposit to get a number. And when we do open up the community for you to come in and look at the apartments or villas that are available, we'll go to number 1, and number 1 will come in and be able to choose any place that's available and place a deposit on it. And then when number 1 has made that choice, then we go to number 2. So it's a unique type of priority list. It is somewhat of a wait list, I guess, because we don't know exactly the timeline of when we will have the community open for personal visits. But it's an opportunity to have priority with available inventory. Right now, we actually do have a single-family villa available. So if you are interested in a single-family villa, I would advise to get on that priority list so that you can be one of the first to actually get in and see that single-family villa. Now, if you are one that maybe has transferred around during your career and have bought houses in several different places and understand looking at a floor plan and looking at a site plan, whether you would like a particular place or not, now is the opportune time to actually place a deposit, a 10% deposit, and secure a location. You still can do that, but you wouldn't be able to physically get into that apartment or villa right now. And so if you feel comfortable with placing a 10% deposit and reserving a specific spot, you actually can do that now. But if you feel more comfortable physically and tactily seeing a place, I would advise getting on that priority list. Let us know if you, I'm looking at the Zoom chat group or the Zoom group chat right now. If you'd like more information about that priority list, let us know. The follow-up email will include the priority list agreement and instructions on how to get on that list. It's really been a pleasure meeting with all of you today and sharing these stories. I hope that you walk away with a little more knowledge about the heritage and the personality of the community here. It's an amazing community. It's been really interesting these last few months, and it's just wonderful now to see folks getting out and about. And starting this week, we actually will have family members to come onto the community in independent living and get to see, you know, some people who haven't been able to get out of the community. You can see that Miss Khalil and her daughter are together. That's because Carolyn came and picked up Miss Khalil. She didn't get out of her car. She just drove in, picked Miss Khalil up, brought her to her house.
I had my mask on.
Wearing a mask. We have our masks. I think I have my mask here. So all of us do wear our mask when we're outside of our offices. We're each in a different office right now, socially distancing. And I'll tell you, it's working. It's working. As of today, right now, this very moment, there have been no residents with COVID. And it's a truly, truly, truly a blessing.
Judy, we had one little last question, if you don't mind fielding a question.
I can do that.
All right. The question was, is Summerfield taking new residents right now?
Yes, Summerfield is. Summerfield takes rehab folks who are rehabbing, as well as private pay residents who are coming from outside, coming in permanently, and then folks that are in independent living who have the need for long-term care. They're transitioning over there as well. So yes, Summerfield is taking new residents. Kathy, you want to add?
Ms. Brenta Davis wants to speak.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment about not being able to see an apartment and yet choosing one. 13 years ago, when I signed up, I could only see a floor plan. There was a hole in the ground where the heritage was to be. I chose my apartment, and I have been in it 13 years. I didn't see it until I moved into it, but the floor plans were wonderful, and I was able to pick out what I wanted to bring, and everything turned out fine. So even if you don't get to lay your hands on it, it works out.
I see another question. The Heritage has had move-ins during the shutdown, so please know that if you're game to move without seeing your new home in person, call the marketing team. Actually, we have 2 people moving in on Monday. So we have had a lot of people moving in. We have 1 person moving in the Magnolia building and 1 person moving in to the Redbud building. Last week we had Friday we had a Garden Villa resident move in. The week prior, another Garden Villa resident move in. The week prior to that, another Garden Villa resident move in. So we have had, I think probably for the last 2 months, someone moving in almost every week. So yes, people are moving into the community. So yes, you can move in. And we have another scheduled move in coming in at the middle of July. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Well, thank you so much for your attendance and joining us for this meeting. We're going to sign off now, and we look forward to re-engaging with you and hopefully seeing you in the not too distant future here at the Heritage of Brentwood. Enjoy your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thanks, everybody.